Racing to the 2020 Kentucky Derby, and that day has arrived. It's the 2020 Kentucky Derby betting show. Going to take a look at the stakes races from Churchill Downs and take some final notes and thoughts as we look at the 2020 Kentucky Derby. Starting off with a turf race, they'll be mowing the lawn. It looks like the slop weather has moved past Churchill Downs and the forecast is 80 degrees and some sunshine for the Saturday. I think this race has a little bit of a chance of an upset in the American turf, starting off the stakes races. The heavy favorite at 8-5 is Smooth Like Straight on the morning line, and you got to respect that horse. Back-to-back wins, and Mike McCarthy, when he gets a horse good, he really seems to keep that form held for quite a while. He did some excellent work with some graded stakes horses, and right here, Smooth Like Straight, he does seem to like the turf. He does seem to like the distance, but I've got a horse that I've been waiting to run for on the turf for quite a while, and it's Tyshawn, the son of Twirling Candy. Those horses tend to be a little bit fiery, and this horse got involved in back-to-back speed duels, kind of had a rough trip in the Arkansas Derby, so that kind of dirtied up his form. And then the last time out, 5 horses went at it on the front end of the Indiana Derby, and Tyshawn took the worst of it. I thought he might be the lone speed going into that race, so I think Tyshawn has got some dirtied up form. I also think a horse like American Butterfly, who finally was let loose on the main track in a sloppy track 2 races back and won by 7. Now he has tended to stop in the longer distance races, but he could find himself out here winging on the lead, and the American Pharaohs have done well on the turf. So those are 2 shots to go along with the favorite Smooth Like Straight to start this off in the American turf. The Pat Day Mile is always a tough, contentious race, and I think we've got a false favorite here as well. Cezanne ran in the Shared Belief stakes the last time out, but that was a 4-horse field. That was after back-to-back slow races to start off his career. Only an 86 buyer in that second win. Again, another small field. 5-horse field and a 4-horse field for Cezanne. I think Echo Town demonstrated superior class in a couple of Grade 1 races like the Woody Stevens and the H. Jerkins. And then also a horse like Vertical Threat. Back-to-back wins. And again, small fields at Del Mar and Los Ale, but I think Vertical Threat's even a better horse than Cezanne. And then you've got a horse like No Parole, who the last time out was against it on the speed. I think now as a longer price and a little bit of a solid workout pattern, not as much speed in this race is No Parole. And then a horse you may want to include your pick 5 is a horse like Sonneman. Sonneman is a deep closer, came running late in the Jerkins, gets more speed here signed on, and I think he's going to be a late running sprinter to a miler as his best distance. I'm against Rushy in this spot. They were thinking about entering the Derby. He's faced good horses, but I just don't think he's got that sharp one-turn speed at a mile. So Rushy is the horse that I'm going to be playing against in this spot. The Iroquois, very good race. Sitting on a Go had a big maiden victory the first time out at the Pea Patch. I think the favorite morning line is going to be either Pico de Oro, and then you've got the Ride of a Lifetime, who comes off a second place finish to Jackie's Warrior at Saratoga. But those early stakes races at Saratoga sometimes don't have the classiest horses. You may want to consider Wayne Lucas, Notary. Fit of pattern for Wayne Lucas. A lot of times he likes to lose that first time out. He ran against a pretty salty field in that first race. Whiskey Double was the son of Into Mischief, trained by Steve Asmussen, who won that race. Notary graduated second time out, and that was at 4-1. Now he stretches out of the 11 hole. That's going to be a tough trip. And then you might want to take a look at Drop Anchor, 15-1 on the morning line. Kenny McPeak seems to get these yearling bargains and get them ready to race. I think they're going to be in this race to try to win it here in the Iroquois. Back to mowing the lawn in the turf race on the stakes race, and this one again looks tough, Grade 2, and I think Daddy is a Legend and Juliet Foxtrot are going to be contenders, but this one is probably the favorite of the day. Newspaper of Record, 2 for 2 this year, back-to-back wins to start off her 4-year-old campaign. She's 1 for 2 at Churchill Lifetime, and a big win for Newspaper of Record the last time out, beating Beau Recall, who comes back at her in this race, and La Signaire, who ran in the Jenny Wiley, a Grade 1. But Newspaper of Record, unless she is absolutely fried on the lead, I think she's going to be probably the single of the singles in this sequence of races. The Distaff Turf Mile is next at Churchill Downs. Derby Distaff is a grade 1. Top-notch fillies. Mia Mischief, a second-place finish last time out to Guarana. Speed held really well that day, and Mia Mischief took advantage of that outside post, got outside the other speed, almost won it, but Guarana won it in the final stride. The big favorite in this race, probably most likely going to be the outside horse Bellafina, and she just doesn't do as well outside of California. She has multiple losses away, but her second-place effort to Serengeti Empress the last time out in the Ballerina Stakes puts her in the mix here. Another horse on the cutback is Cece. Cece has lost 2 straight races after her impressive gutted out victory in the Apple Blossom, but her best distance is 7 furlongs to a mile, and Michael McCarthy again with another horse on the undercard. Another one to take a look at is Serengeti Empress, who ran a huge race the last time out. I'm not sure she can duplicate that. She kind of in and out with some of her performances, so it'll be interesting to see if Serengeti Empress can put together back-to-back races. The Old Forester Turf Classic, we talked about this. You can take a look at that preview. Again, my top selections are Digital Age, Rock Emperor, and a horse that I think can maybe have a shot at a price to throw in there is Bowie's Hero. You might also want to take a look at True Valor in your pick 5s and pick 4s. A toss for me is going to be Factor This. I thought he's been facing weaker horses on some weaker races, the last few races. Now he's got to stretch out and face tougher horses at 9 furlongs. And the Derby, of course, Tiz the Law, the big favorite. Galloped on Friday, looks strong with the 2 scratches this week of Art Collector and King Gallarmo. Not a lot of speed. That's going to improve the chances of Authentic, who could take him a long way late in the night here underneath the lights at Churchill Downs. Honor AP has galloped well over the week. I think he needs a big field. He'll finally get that, and he should be able to sit in that 5th or 6th spot. He's just better, classier than some of the other long shots, and it kind of depends on how slow Authentic can go on the lead in this race, and when Manny Franco tries to pull the trigger with Tiz the Law. He doesn't want to pull it too soon because that might allow Honor AP to get him, but if he tracks Authentic and just sits right behind him, kind of like he did in the Saratoga race against Uncle Chuck, Tiz the Law will probably get first jump on Honor AP, and he's already proven himself at the 10 furlong distance. A lot of chalk these 2 days for the betting preview. Again, my long shot is Tyshawn, and I think that Pat Day Mile Cezanne is a throwout. I think Factor This is a toss for me. So hopefully you can get some of those 2nd, 3rd favorites and see what happens in the Kentucky Derby to bring home this stakes race ending on Kentucky Derby Day. Good luck with all your wagers, and we'll take a recap of the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks coming up next week.